First Kenyan to be jailed for doping.
This is so sad, Lynn.
It is so sad.
This is so sad. And the fact that you say that the only way she could have taken this is through an injection. So it was done probably intentionally.
Yes, Linda. Regardless of whether it was her or the coach, there are too many questions, very many questions. Because what happens is if she tests positive, and that is like, you know, the sample B comes back positive, she'll be stripped of everything she has ever worn in her life.
Okay, so if this comes back positive,
yes,
anything and everything Sumgong has ever won will be taken away.
She'll be required to return all the medals, all the trophies, and all the money that she has won. Linda, it is that bad, yeah. So IAAF will expect Athletics Kenya, which is, you know, the federation that oversees athletics in the country, to make sure that she returns. So she returns the trophies and the medals through Athletics Kenya and all the winnings.
Okay, apart from Jemima Sumgong, this doesn't also look very good for Kenya. I mean, we are champions in long distance running. The other day we went for a marathon in Uganda and someone said Kenyans need to know there's a difference between a championship and just being greedy, because we basically took up all the top slots. What does this do to the credibility of Kenyan athletes? Credibility
is the word. What it means is that each athlete who now lines up to compete for Kenya, there are question marks even before the race starts. Because if your Olympic champion tested positive, you've had other athletes test positive. At some point, we did actually believe that, you're working on this, but then this happens. We go back to square one. Kenya goes back to square one, where athletes have to prove to the world that we are clean. So it affects each and every race that Kenya wins. And it doesn't look so good because it comes just a few weeks before the London Marathon, which she was actually the defending champion.
Oh, so clearly she's not going to be part of that, is she?
She's not going to be part of that. And we have other Kenyans taking part in that race. We have the likes of Vivian Cheruiyot, who is making her marathon debut. If she goes ahead to win, she probably, now you have to be very careful with the words you use, she probably will win clean. But there will be question marks on whether she won clean. And
then even if they win, someone will be like, are you sure?
Are you sure? Are you sure? Which again brings the same questions. Is Kenya using the right channels to curb doping? Because there's also a lot of corruption.
And I'll pose that question to you, Lynn. You're a sports journalist. Are we using the right methods?
Well, progress has definitely been made. I will give it up to the Kenya Anti-Doping Agency. But then, unfortunately, when you have something like this happening, people will keep asking, are we really doing the right thing? And here I will fault Athletics Kenya, probably, because we had the Federico Rosa Athletes Management. It's the same management where Rita Cheptoo comes from. Matthew Kisori, another top high-profile athlete who failed a drug test in 2013, also comes from the same management. An 800 meters runner, Agatha Jeruto, who tested positive again in end of 2014, comes from the same management. This management was actually suspended from operating in Kenya for a period of about 6 months. Investigations were done, then they were reinstated with no findings, with no proper findings saying that they were not involved or they were involved. We have had so many labs that have been tested. Nothing has been done. We also had an anti-doping task force that was led by Dr. Moni Wekesa, where some names were actually given to the sports minister, the sports CS, Hassan Wario. He was supposed to make those names public. I remember last year, I was in a press conference where I asked Hassan Wario the same question about what happened to the names.
And what did he tell you?
He was very casual and he said, we mbona unakumbusha watu hii mambo. And that's not the way.
Ni mambo kubwa.
Very big.
Okay.
It's sad.
Listen, so for a good number of Kenyans, the only way they remember Jemima Sumgong is is in 2016 when she won that Olympic gold marathon. Those are the pictures that we're currently playing for you on your screen. But, Lynn, we need to find out who exactly is Jemima Sumgong. What do we know about her? and I understand there are graphics that we can run, that we can understand who she is, what has she won, and why this is big news for Kenya.
You know, actually, Jemima Sumgong is an athlete who's worked her way from the bottom, by the way. She has worked her way from the bottom. She's had a couple of 5th place finishes, 7th place finishes. Then her real breakthrough came in 2013 at the Rotterdam Marathon, where she was crowned winner. But very interesting to note, this win, she actually didn't win, you know, crossing the finish line.
Okay,
I know you're just about to ask how many types of winnings we have.
How do you win without crossing
the finish line first? What happened in this race? She was running against Rita Chepto, the former Boston Marathon champion. Or we call her former because she was stripped of all the titles. So when she tested positive in 2013, she was stripped of the title. And it was given to Sumgong, who had finished second, which means if she's now stripped of...
Then the same now takes effect.
So
you know.
whoever finished third becomes the champion.
Yeah.
Quite sad. But then she